It started with a scream that tore through the night, a scream that belonged to a black female cop who had been betrayed not by a stranger, not by a criminal, not by a thug lurking in the shadows, but by one of her own, a man she had trusted, a man she had once called her partner in uniform, a white cop whose finger pulled the trigger that sent a bullet tearing through her thigh. And in that moment, everything changed, because that single gunshot was not just an accident, it was not just a lapse of judgment, it was the spark that ignited the fire of revenge that would later consume his entire house in flames. And the story you're about to hear is darker, stranger, and more gripping than anything you've heard before, so listen carefully and don't look away because every detail matters. And if you think you know how this ends, you don't, because the truth is far more chilling. So stay with me and watch until the very last second, because this story will keep you glued to your seat. And I promise the twist will make you question everything you thought you knew about loyalty, justice, and payback. And right now, before the fire, before the smoke, before the ruin, there was only the echo of that gunshot and a woman bleeding out on the ground wondering why someone she trusted had just turned into her executioner. But this is only the beginning, and if you blink, you'll miss the clues that lead to her revenge. Her name was Officer Tiana Brooks, a black woman in her mid-30s, strong, sharp, respected by her peers, but also constantly tested in a police department where being a woman and being black meant you had to work twice as hard to get half the respect. And for years she swallowed her pride, proved herself in the field, carried the weight of her badge with dignity, and built a reputation as the cop who never backed down. But that night, under the pale glow of the streetlights, all of that was shattered when her so-called partner, Officer Daniel Hayes, a white cop with a crooked smile and a reputation for bending the rules, raised his gun during a heated confrontation and without warning pulled the trigger, the sound splitting the night like thunder as the bullet lodged itself deep into her thigh, dropping her to the asphalt. And as the hot pain shot through her body, her mind screamed one question louder than the sirens wailing in the distance: why? Now here's the part that will keep you holding on, because if you think this was just some tragic accident in the line of duty, you're wrong, dead wrong. Because what came after proved that this was personal, this was intentional, and Tiana Brooks was not going to let it slide. She was not going to play the victim. She was going to take control of the story. And her revenge would be so devastating that the man who pulled the trigger would lose everything. And when I say everything, I mean it. So don't move, don't look away, because what happens in the next few minutes will send chills down your spine and make you question how far someone can go when pushed to the edge. And right here is where I ask you, if you're still with me, to tap that like button, share this story, and subscribe, because the deeper we go, the darker it gets, and trust me, you'll want to hear how this ends. The shooting wasn't caught on body cam because Daniel had forgotten to turn his on, something he always